Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to end the video, and this is a paid request for Sean. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, movie reviews, re-reviews, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, tier lists, rankings, video game playthroughs, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And this is for Singin in the Rain, a 1952 film that the only thing I knew about this film was the scene in question. The big dance scene where he has the umbrella and he's singing that song and he's jumping through the puddles and all that stuff. There's a lamppost, he grabs onto it. That still is the best scene in the movie. Now, this is not normally the type of movie I'd go out of my way to watch. So it's like, okay, it's definitely outside the norm for me. But did I think this was a decent film? Yeah, I do. I guess it's not my typical taste in film. Musicals, it depends. Like Little Shop of Horrors, I liked. Even Better Man, came out a year or two ago, I liked. And it was interesting to watch at least one time. It stars Gene Kelly. You also have Debbie Reynolds, who I remember in the Albert Brooks film Mother. And it takes place in the 1920s, and about how certain individuals are going from these silent films to the talking pictures, the talkies. And during that transition, how Gene Kelly falls in love with Debbie Reynolds. Because Gene Kelly's a big star with this other lady, and the crowd thinks they're an item, but Gene Kelly doesn't like this lady, and this lady, I forget the actress' name, but she talks like this, and she talks a little bit like this. Of course, people don't notice because it's a silent film. And he just doesn't like how selfish she is, and just how she only cares about herself, and she won't leave Gene Kelly alone. Now, during the premiere of one of these movies, he tells a bit about his background. He lies and says that he was from a rich background, but we see that's from a poor background. Him and his buddy dancing in pool halls and being thrown out. Worked at a low-budget studio, and when a guy did not do a stunt correctly, he's like, I could do that. He goes in, does the stunt well. He's used more and more for dangerous stunts, and that gets to leading him to being in the lead in pictures. One night he's mobbed by fans. He has to escape because they're tearing off his clothes. He lands in their car driven by Debbie Reynolds. She freaks out, doesn't know who he is at first, but then eventually finds out, and they start talking with each other and a little bit of bonding with each other. And your typical love story aspect where they kind of know each other, then there's a little bit of friction, and a little bit of, okay, who do you think you are? But of course, they'll warm up to each other as the story goes along. There's this party where some people have to get out of a cake, and she's one of them. And they're all dressed in pink, the ladies. And of course, this is a musical, so there's a lot of music and dance numbers. Now, I will say, when the music and dance numbers happen, they're well choreographed. If you like that kind of stuff, it's done well in the era of the 1950s. Meaning they didn't have tricks of CG or other stuff to hide fallacies. They had to do it in camera. You had to make sure you know what the fuck you were doing. Because there wasn't as much trickery as you can now that can hide your deficiencies, can hide your issues. We'll CGI enhance this, or we'll do that. No, that's far, 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 far from that. You need to study, you need to know what the fuck you were doing. Which makes it even more impressive when you see this stuff done. So whether it be that dance sequence, or there's a bit where Gene Kelly, and Gene's buddy, or the three of them are dancing around this, like a living room, and they'll get on this couch and let it tip over while they're still standing on it. Good morning, good morning. which I know I've heard that song before, but I'd never seen that clip before, so I don't know what the hell else heard that from. But that song, good morning, good morning. So, I would say the best song is Singin' in the Rain. It's very catchy. And then that Good Morning song will probably be the second best one. One shot I did like is when he finds out about Debbie Reynolds and that she's kind of part of the... Well, she said she was part of the acting circuit, but now he knows where she works at. He visits this studio. I like this scene where it shows how there's multiple films being made at the same time. So it'll be like a western, and the camera pans, and then there's like a football stadium bleachers, I should say bleachers, and a cheerleader, and it keeps panning, and there's another little movie being made, and a little. So I thought that was really cool, just to see how there's all these films being made in one studio. So it's done on the cheap. So I just thought that was kind of a neat visual to see. And more than likely how they did some of these cheaper films. You have one studio, have them all doing the same time because it's a silent film. And if they're silent films, then it doesn't matter what noise we're making because we're not going to use the sound to be anyway. And then there's a point where they see someone like talking to the camera and people are just... Can you imagine a time where people were confused that people were talking to a camera and you could actually hear what they're saying? Or in this case, he said that it's a record that you're hearing of me talking to you. It's just crazy to imagine a time when that would have been a peculiar sci-fi idea. That's how it goes. And so now, studio that Gene Kelly's working for, they want to make a talking picture with him and this female star that's been with him a lot. And so they're getting ready. They have to do elocution lessons, enunciate lessons. Elocution, I believe, is the right term. But to enunciate and make sure to talk correctly, because now they have to be trained to be able to speak for the camera and act for the camera, and the pitfalls, like the leading lady doesn't know where the microphone is, so she keeps talking, and she's she can't quite fucking figure it out. I don't blame the director. I'd be pulling my fucking nut hair out working with this fucking dumb bitch. Not Debbie Reynolds is the leading... Well, I say I mean the leading... Whatever the hell her name is. The one with the voice like this. I'd be going fucking crazy too. I didn't blame the guy. And then when they show the film, it's a fucking disaster because the microphone's all fucked up, and then when Gene Kelly's moving, they can hear the microphone with the clothes moving and such. So then they figured, well, we're going to find a way to fix it. So, for example, they'll add in some song numbers, and they'll get Debbie Reynolds to do some of the voices of the lead lady. So they implement that stuff. Now, the big number Singin' in the Rain is when he takes Debbie Reynolds home, and he knows that they're in love, and it's a very catchy, uplifting song with the way he does, and just that's my favorite because not only because the song is catchy, not only is the song is very upbeat, but the way he uses the umbrella, like, it's not the easiest to use an umbrella. So the fact that the same shot, he'll be moving it in sync, and then moving the umbrella like it's a prop. Use it as a prop that's just as smooth with fluidity as he is. He's opening it up, closing it down, swinging it. It's not bumbling and fumbling. He's flipping it over. And if you have any type of wind and such, any type of that, the umbrella could go this way, could go this way. You flip it, but it tops over here or there. But he does it, it catches it perfectly. And it's not a one-take shot, but there's shots that go on for a decent amount of time for what needs to be done. And so just the time and the choreography, I think, was most prominent in that. And you got the rain coming down, and or the water that they put in the sprinkler, however the hell they did the scene. Definitely the best number in the film, in the movie. There's another scene where he pitches this idea and it goes through very lengthy dance sequence in multiple venues where he's like, I don't know, he's like trying to be like a spy or something, but they're very colorful clothes and there's people like flipping coins in unison. And then there's like this bit with like a little casino and like very, I wouldn't say psychedelic, but like this is one part. It was like, I don't know, it was trying to be heaven or something. It looked pretty neat though. It was like these kind of marble like steps and he's dancing with the girl and there's these like wide shots and you see almost like a heavenly background. I don't know, just very, that's one of the scenes that kind of struck out to me positively of the film. And then, spoiler alert, they do this stuff, the premiere goes well. I don't know what they did to fix the... Did he re-record his dialogue too? During the bits? I mean, there's a part of me that actually would like to have seen a bit more of the movie making process of the talkies. Like, you see a bit of it with the microphone, but maybe the other stuff or other pitfalls. Or a little bit more of them having to redo the film, so maybe bits where they're doing the voice work, voiceover, and they're going back and forth, like people noticing just the chemistry they have with each other. Gene Kelly's buddy, he's fine. At times it feels like he kind of disappears into the background. So I guess I thought he'd be kind of a bigger part than he was. So, like, sometimes he's there for, like, Good Morning song with Jean and Debbie. Then sometimes he kind of, I don't want to say disappear, but in a way kind of into the background where I almost forget that he's in the film. But yeah, the premiere goes well, and then the one actress is being very bitchy and saying Debbie's going to do all the lines for her from now on, and Jean's like, well, she's got her own life, her own career. And the other girl's being a bitch, so fine, go out there. And they pull the curtain up and tell everyone that Debbie Reynolds was the one voicing her character. And I'm like, have they heard her talk and they don't fucking notice the difference? And she gets embarrassed and pisses off, and you have Jean and Debbie kind of did together, and then I guess the idea is they later did a film called Singin in the Rain because they're by like a billboard of it, and then they kiss. It's definitely one of those movies that's a feel-good film, definitely a film of its time, definitely a film that's a lot less cynical than what you would see in today's age. That's definitely a great element of a whimsical nature to it. That, I mean, I will admit there's a part of me that kind of got charmed watching the film, considering what's going on in the world of today, and just to kind of disappear into yesteryear and seeing just, again, how kind of upbeat a good chunk of the film was. I thought Debbie Reynolds, Gene Kelly did fine in their roles. As an actor, Gene Kelly is fine. I wouldn't say he's amazing or fantastic. Like, he's fine. I mean, I would put someone like Dean Martin or someone that they have like a little bit more charisma or just a little bit more it factor. But Gene Kelly, he does well the singing, he does well the dancing as an actor. He just, to be honest, I think he's just kind of there as an actor. Like, he's okay. He's not bad, he's just okay. And yeah, I just think, like, look wise, presence wise, acting wise, he's just there. But when he's acting, when he's dancing and singing, that's where his biggest pros come to light. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I don't have a whole lot of issues with the film. It's charming for what it needs to be. The musical numbers, like I said, well choreographed. Some charm to the songs. Overall, yeah, nice to have seen at least one time. So, didn't mind the film. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye bye for now.